I decided to be a mental health counselor when I was 9 years old. One of my favorite celebrities, Chris Brown, when I was 9, he was diagnosed with bipolar disorder. And my young mind became fascinated by the fact that mental health disorders even existed. So once I did all the research, I started studying mental health at a young age, and at some point I became old enough to actually get paid for it. Hi, I'm Shatira Walker, and I am the clinical team lead here at Freedom Support Services. My job is to see clients, supervise clinicians, residents, practicum students, and interns. So I am originally from Farmville, Virginia. It's a small school that I went to. It's called Prince Edward County High School. And even though Farmville is a really small place, I definitely got my personality from it. So it definitely left a lasting impact on me, which led me to choose Radford, which is where I attended for my bachelor's degree and my master's degree. I did my bachelor's in 3 years, but it's a 4-year program. And then I went on to graduate school, which is a 2-year program. And I received my bachelor's degree in psychology and sociology with a minor in religious studies. And my master's degree is in clinical mental health counseling. After I received my master's degree, I decided to start an internship actually here at Freedom Support Services, where I began getting my clinical hours. I started to do paperwork and assessments that helped me with professional documentation, and I also got a lot of clinical face-to-face hours, which included sessions with clients, shadowing my supervisor, and also just being out in the community spreading the word about mental health. So the residency that I completed here took about 2 years, and you have to get a certain amount of hours, which changes as far as like what a licensure process would be, and it varies state by state. Here in Virginia, it is about 1,400 hours of clinical face-to-face hours, as well as 400 hours of clinical supervision, whether that be with an individual supervisor or group supervision. So if you would like a Ph.D. in counseling, please be careful about the program that you choose. You want to be able to pick a program that reflects where you'd like to go. So if you're interested in the education side, if you're interested in the research side, if you're interested in teaching, those are all separate programs, and you have to be careful about which direction you want to go. So you want to take whatever program it is and look through what they stand for, their mission statement, their vision statement, to make sure that it aligns with the direction of your career. Something that I'm really passionate about in my career is bipolar disorder. Bipolar disorder is one of the disorders that I spent most of my master's degree researching. Most of the time, bipolar individuals may not be aware that they're bipolar because a lot of their symptoms are actually quite likable. Like if your best friend really loves shopping sprees, or if she really likes to party with you, then those are likable symptoms, and a lot of the times those people don't reach out for help because they're enjoying their disorder. They're enjoying their shopping addiction, or they're enjoying their wild moves to the other side of the country. They may not actually know that it's a problem until it impairs something that they're trying to do, like keeping a relationship, or maintaining a good job, or making savings. They don't realize that they are actually doing what's called cycling. They have a hard time actually gripping onto the fact that these likable things about themselves are actually harming them. And that's why it's one of my favorite disorders to treat, because I enjoy helping people figure out what parts of you can you keep and which parts of you are harmful to yourself. The attributes of a good mental health counselor is resiliency, good communication skills, great boundaries. You want to be able to say no, but you also want to be able to extend yourself as much as your client may need you to, as long as you are using your boundaries. You also want to have good time management skills, and you want to be able to sit with your client for however long and be able to focus on that person without any distractions. Your program doesn't make you a good counselor. You make you a good counselor. A typical work day for me is I usually get up and I get here around 9. I do some grounding exercises before I see my first client. And I usually see clients back to back all day, starting from 9 and ending at 8. My clients consist of all ages. My youngest client is 3 years old and my oldest client is 76 years old. I have a specialty in treating anxiety and depression and bipolar disorder, but I do not turn away anyone who is outside of that diagnosis. I spend most of my time working with individuals who are prepared for counseling, ready, determined, and they are typically not resistant. They typically enjoy all parts of the treatment. So mental health counselors cannot prescribe medication. In order to do that, you have to see a psychiatrist or a primary care physician, but we are able to diagnose mental health disorders. A lot of mental health counselors are actually willing to work with your psychiatrist, with your doctor, or with another psychologist to try to create the best treatment plan for you. So for example, if you come in with depression and I diagnose you with depression, I can't give you antidepressants, but I can contact your doctor and let them know that this person does have clinical depression and they do actually need help. Here at Freedom Support Services, we have actually always done online counseling. It's always been an option for our clients, and it's always really easy to transition from back and forth. So right now, about maybe 25% of my caseload is 100% virtual. Some of them go back and forth. Some of them have never seen me in person. And then I have some who refuse to reduce me to a telehealth session, and they always come in. So right now, we're just a good balance. The average salary range for a mental health counselor in the state of Virginia is anywhere from $30,000 to $75,000. For quite some time, I was a mental health skill builder. And a mental health skill builder is someone who, instead of doing skill building in a session where you would sit with someone on a couch and walk them through coping skills, you do it with them in the community. So teaching coping skills hands-on in the moment. Also passing out brochures, resources, making referrals, and making sure that people know that we exist. A lot of people didn't know that Freedom Support Services was a thing until we started getting out there and telling people that, yeah, we're here. As far as mental health today, I definitely think we are talking about it, but not in the right ways. It used to be where people would have a really large and heavy stigma about people who have been diagnosed with any type of mental health issue, and they would label you as crazy. And now I think with the new generation, we are doing more of like an over-diagnosing. But I think the common issue is just a lack of knowledge. We just need to know more about these diagnoses, not just throwing around, oh, I have OCD because you like to clean. That's not fair to OCD individuals who really struggle with that day to day. If you're having a bad day and you snap on a friend, it's not cool to say, sorry, I had a bipolar episode, because that's not what that is. So I think today we just need to focus on getting the correct information to the right people.